welcome to another edition of Eric's Product Reviews, brought to you by hollywoodfrodo.com. I am Eric, and today, you probably guessed it, I'm going to be talking to you about these guys. These are the WF-1000XM3 Sony Bluetooth True Wireless Active Noise Cancelling Earbuds. That is a mouthful, and that's because these little tiny earbuds pack so much amazing technology. It is just unbelievably awesome. I've been looking for some active noise cancelling earbuds that would be on par with higher end active noise cancelling headphones, such as the newer ones from Sony or the Bose Quiet Comfort 25 or 35 headphones, and ultimately I settled upon these from Sony, and I absolutely love them. I'm going to talk to you about the design, the style, the features, the functionality, all the cool stuff that's packed into them, but I'm going to start by talking to you about the active noise cancellation, because that's probably the #1 feature of these that sets them apart. They are earbuds. They are tiny little earbuds, but they have active noise cancellation built into them, and it is truly great. I wore these on a flight from Atlanta to Los Angeles. It's about a 5.5 hour long flight, and I was using the active noise cancelling. I was sitting in the back of the plane, which is one of the noisiest areas of the plane, and they worked impeccably. Really impressed with how well these work for tiny little earbuds. I prefer earbuds to headphones because I don't like to have to deal with the headphones themselves. They're bigger. You gotta have a big case that you put them in. When you're wearing them, you have to wear them over your head. When you're getting in and off the plane, if you take them off, they're around your neck. They take up a lot of space. These tiny little earbuds, you just keep in your ears the whole time. No big deal at all. And I'll talk about the comfort and all that kind of stuff as well. But first, let's talk about that active noise cancellation. The best way I can compare these, my spouse has a pair of Bose Quiet Comfort 25 wireless active noise cancelling headphones. I would say if those block out 90 to 95% of the ambient sound around you, then I would say these block out 80 to 90% of the ambient sound around you, which is pretty spectacular. Like I said, I was on the back of the plane, which is generally the noisiest area of the plane because you're right by the engine. And once I turned on the active noise cancellation on these, it was quiet. It was nice and quiet. Of course, that's without even playing anything, without even listening to music or watching a movie. Once I was doing one of those things, I couldn't hear anything other than what I was listening to. And I couldn't hear the plane at all, when it would not have even have known I was on the plane. But even without anything playing, just turning on active noise cancelling on these have such great active noise cancelling technology that it was really very quiet. And I have reviewed in the past some inexpensive active noise cancelling earbuds, and those did a decent job for the price. Very lot more inexpensive, but they did let some noise through. These cancel out almost all of it. Like I said, 80 to 90%. So just a fraction, tiny little fraction less maybe than your high-end over-ear headphones, but with this form factor, the tiny little earbuds, to me, much preferable for my personal taste, and did a great job. Now, what's awesome is Sony has packed in some really cool features with the active noise cancellation. You can go into the app and you can control, you can have full active noise cancelling, or you can have ambient sound mode, which is where you decide what percentage from 0 to 100, what percent of ambient noise do you want to allow through, depending on your situation where you are. Also, you can set it to focus on voices. So you can say, I want 30 or 40% ambient sound, but mostly focus on voice. And these will focus on letting voices through, but still blocking out all the other stuff. Really great, especially on airplanes. A great feature to have, so that like if you're working in an office, you can block out a lot of the ambient office sound, but let voices through. And that feature works really well. Another thing that's really cool is these earbuds have touch controls, and I'll talk a little bit more about that later. But in terms of controlling your active noise cancelling, you can switch between full active noise cancelling, ambient sound mode, or turning it off. But what's really cool is if you press and hold, you tap and hold your finger, then it immediately pauses whatever you're watching or whatever you're listening to on your device, and turns off active noise cancelling and turns on full pass-through of ambient sound. So when the flight attendant's coming to take drink orders, as soon as she gets to me, I just put my finger on there and hold it, and my movie or TV show is paused, and I could hear sound, so I could hear her talk, and I could tell her what I wanted. As soon as I'm done, I take my finger off, immediately starts playing again, active noise canceling or whatever mode I was in before, kicks right back in, works seamlessly. So yeah, for tiny little earbuds, the active noise canceling on these I think is excellent, amazing. To me it was even better than I expected. I expected it to be good because it was Sony, and I knew their over-the-ear headphones are some of the best reviewed active noise canceling headphones. So I knew it was going to be good, but it was even better than I thought coming out of these tiny little earbuds. Very, very impressive. Now let's talk about sound quality. Again, we're talking about Sony here. Sony has been in the business of making speakers and headphones, anything to do with sound for many years, which of course makes them some of the best in the business at doing it, and these are no exception. These tiny little earbuds have excellent, amazing sound. I listen to music, I played a couple of games, I've watched TV shows and movies, and the sound is just great. The bass is great, the voices are clear. To me, I think it's all the way around, overall, just excellent sound. Not only that, but again, inside that app, Sony gives you control because they realize that different people have different taste. So there's a 5-point graphic equalizer where you can decide exactly how you want the sound to be. And they have some presets, so one that maybe focuses on voice or vocals, one that focuses on other things, but then you can also customize each one how you want to customize it so that it sounds the best way you want it to sound. In addition to the 5-point graphic equalizer, there's also a separate clear bass setting that allows you to control the bass, because some of you like a lot of extra bass, and so there's a clear bass setting to give a little extra bass. So that's great. Sony also has their own proprietary digital file enhancement. So if you're streaming music, or if you're listening to MP3s on your phone, that kind of thing, music you've downloaded from your subscription service, using that helps enhance the quality of the sound to a higher level, almost perfect CD quality, HD quality from that file. So that's just a bonus. If you want to turn that on, you can turn that on, you can have that. So obviously with Sony, you got a company that's paying really close attention to having really excellent sound. That is their focus, has always been their #1 thing. So again, the active noise canceling on these, to me, 10 out of 10. The sound quality, regardless of what I'm listening to me, 10 out of 10. Really excellent. Now let's talk about some of the other cool features that they have. They paired with Google to have the Google Assistant built in. Now within the app, you can decide what these touch controls control on each side. You can have one of them control active noise canceling. I have my left one doing that. And then you can have one of them controlling either Google Assistant, if you want to have that built in, or controlling play and pause. I chose to have Google Assistant, and I used the right one for that. And so with Google Assistant built in, you just place your finger on there, and you just hold it. It activates Assistant, you give the command, and then you let go. And you have full Google Assistant capabilities to control smart home stuff, to send text messages, to have things read out to you, to launch apps, to play, pause, any of those things that the Google Assistant can do, you can do with these earbuds just by tapping your finger, giving the command, and letting go. Another cool feature is anytime you get notifications, it alerts you in the earbud, and if you just double tap, then the assistant will automatically read out all your current notifications, which is kind of a cool extra feature to having the Google Assistant built in. That works really well, never has any issues understanding what I'm saying. And great to have the Google Assistant available. Even if my phone is in my pocket, I can use the Google Assistant to get information and do things, make phone calls, any of that stuff without any problem. So that's awesome. And speaking of phone calls, sound quality on phone calls is excellent. The microphone on these is just as good as every other aspect, and so picks up your voice clearly. The person you're talking to can hear you just fine. You can hear them. You can also use these either 2 or 1, and these sense whether you're using both of them or just one of them, and will react accordingly and play sound accordingly, which is another cool aspect and feature of them. As far as design goes, now when I looked at these online, I'll admit, I thought they were going to be a little bit bigger than they were. I was a little bit nervous about that. I thought they look big, but they're actually not big. It's just because they have that sort of oblong look to them. In my mind, I pictured this huge thing sticking out, but you saw them in my ears. They're not big at all. They're actually very, very small, very lightweight, fit very, very comfortably in the ear, and designed really well. I really like the way they designed them. I'm trying to see if this is right or left. This is left and this is right. That's indicated right on there. You can see that easy enough. But the way they designed them to be put in your ear, because you have this pointed down, you stick it in and then you twist it, and then it, you know, you're putting it in right. Some earbuds I've had, it was kind of weird trying to figure out how I'm supposed to put them in. With these, there's no question about it, due to the design. But as I said, they are actually not big at all, and once they're in your ear, they stay in really well without any problem at all, and you hardly even know they're there. And what's cool is Sony included in the package 2 different types of tips. You have your standard rubber tips that you see on pretty much all earbuds, but then you also have these foam tips like I have on these, and for some people will find the foam to be a little bit more comfortable. Other people will prefer the rubber tips. They included 3 sizes of each, so regardless of what you prefer and the size of your ear canal, you can find the one that fits best for you. Really cool that Sony went the extra mile to basically think of and cover everything and every aspect of these. The other thing that's really cool is the case, and this is the case. I love the color and the design of these with sort of the copper tones to them. This case charges with a Type-C charging cord, which is great. And it's a pretty, people have talked about it being a big case. It is bigger than some of the other cases I've seen, but it also holds a lot of power. Now with these, full charge, if you're using active noise cancellation, you get about 6 hours. Like I said, I was on a 5.5 hour flight, and they lasted the entire time with no problem at all. If you're not using active noise cancelling, you can get even longer. You can get about 8 hours out of them. But with active noise cancelling being used, you get about 6 hours. And then this will recharge them 3 more times. So if everything's fully charged, you can basically go 24 hours of listening time with active noise cancelling on without any issue at all. And what I love about this is, yeah, maybe it's a little bigger, but it's still small enough to fit in my pocket. And if it's small enough to fit in my pocket, I'm happy. That's all I care about. I want it to be able to fit in my front pocket, and this fit in my front pocket with no problem at all. It does have a magnetic control for when you're popping these in there. So when you go to pop this in, it just goes right in there without any issue at all, because the magnet pulls it right in. It also has NFC, so when you're first pairing, you can use NFC to pair with the phone if you want to do that. But nice little form factor. Pop them in there, it charges up. A really cool feature. Let's say you were on a 7-hour flight, and so at the 6-ish hour you ran out of power. You can pop these earbuds in this case for 10 minutes, and within 10 minutes you get 90 minutes worth of a charge. So if you just need to extend it out a little bit longer, you pop them in there, 10 minutes in here, and they'll be charged for another 90 minutes. You won't get the full 6-hour charge in 10 minutes, but you get another 90 minutes out of 10 minutes charging, which is another excellent feature. Again, overall, I can't say enough good stuff about these. The sound quality is amazing, the features are amazing, the Google Assistant aspect is cool, being able to hold, to pause everything and turn ANC off so you can listen to what someone's saying and then let go to start back. Just a lot of really great features, extra features, as well as the amazingly awesome sound you've come to expect from Sony, and active noise cancelling that is on par with the top high-end over-the-ear active noise cancelling headphones. Again, they are the WF-1000XM3 earbuds by Sony, and these are available on Amazon as well as most retailers, but I did get mine from Amazon. I will have a link in the description below to these on Amazon. You can click that, jump over to Amazon, you can read other people's reviews of them and pick some up for yourself. Anyway, that's going to be it for this review. If you like this review, please click that like button. If there's anything I didn't cover, this video is kind of long, so because I tried to cover everything, but if there's something I missed or a question you have that I didn't answer, feel free to leave that in the description below. I'll do my best to answer those as quickly as I can. Don't forget to favorite this playlist to keep up with future product reviews, or just go ahead and subscribe to my channel to keep up with all my videos. Anyway, that is going to be it until next time, so have a great day.